So, I have a confession to make. First of all, I've been home for almost 3 weeks now from visiting my mom. And I still haven't done really any more filming or anything like that. I had a really good track record of doing one video a week. And then as I had to prepare to go to my mom's house, things just got a little bit crazy, and then I was at my mom's house, and then I came home, and then there was flooding in my room. Yeah, flooding in my room. Not fun. That's mostly resolved now. And poor Bruce. He missed me so much, huh, Bruce? You missed me. He was starting to get afraid that I had left. And every time my husband left the house, he was getting worried that he wasn't going to come back either. So, Bruce was very, very happy to see me. The real confession, though, is that I have a lot of fabric. And it's getting out of control. And so the real reason I wanted to start this YouTube channel was to do something called Stashbusters, where I use up things from my stash, because sometimes it's just really frustrating. So out here I have a lot of the fabric that I've bought in the last little bit. Up through here is stuff that I just bought in the last week. And this stuff is stuff that I just bought, I think I bought a year ago, thinking I'm going to make myself some clothes. And then days like today happen where I'm like, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to make something, because I could really use some better clothes, some more clothes, because they wear out, right? And then I've literally been here, sitting here for like 2 hours trying to figure out what to do. Okay, now these ones I didn't buy to make clothes for me today. These are just really, really great. So all of this fabric, and this is not even all the fabric I've bought in the last year, all of this fabric is the bargain fabric from Walmart. Sometimes they sell it by the yard. Sometimes they sell already pre-packaged on bolts. These ones just come in these little bundles right here. But what I think they are mill ends. Mill ends are like where you have somebody who's making a lot of something, like in production, and then they're finished, but then they still have yards and yards of stuff left. And so what do you do with that? A lot of times there'll be little mill ends, and that's one of the ways you can get really, really good quality fabric for a very good price, right? Like this is like a 4-way stretch fabric, and it's very, very nice. It's and it's 3 yards for $6, right? I mean, I could almost make a dress out of that. You know, this one's also 3 yards for $6, although it's more of a meshy fabric, so, you know. Anyways, this one I was thinking about making some pants with. So, the problem is that I can't decide what to do. Some of these things I don't have the patterns for yet, and pattern making takes me a while. So there are 2 things that I need more of, especially since once school starts up again, I tell myself every summer I'm going to make myself a new wardrobe, and then I never do it. And anyways, I could always use more simple blouses and some pants, right? So that's what I really should focus on. I have made this into a pattern right here. Where is it? Right here. Oh! I've got the sleeve pattern. Well, I mostly just drafted that. And then I've got a front and a back piece right here. I just used IKEA paper. You know, the rolls of paper that you get in the children's section at IKEA. That's what I like using because it's cheap and it's easy to write on and erase, and I use, you know, just mechanical pencils and stuff. I've already made this shirt. So I should either make one of these shirts, and I have done this once for making a Dola costume from Castle in the Sky by just bringing up the neckline a little bit and making the sleeves longer. And I think I made the tunic, like the length of it longer too. Or I should make some pants. And I can make some cargo pants because my cargo pants are wearing out. Or, well, cargo pants wouldn't necessarily be for school, but these capris are my stretchy capris that I love. They're my favorite. So maybe what I should start working on is a pattern to be able to copy these capris. And then if they work, then all you have to do is lengthen them a little bit to make them into pants. So I still can't decide. I've already been trying to decide for 2 hours. This is why I have so many projects in my house. So many bits of fabric in my house. Anyways. All right, I'm gonna stop this for now, and let's see what happens. Okay, I'm back. I went and did some grocery shopping at Costco. I had a little bit of lunch. I had a taco salad. It was very good. And right now, Bruce wants to be outside to sit in the sun because he's a code dog. He's a code little puppy. And I figured out what I'm gonna do. So I've got 2 pairs of these pants that I have loved to death. I'm wearing one of this kind right now. But as you can see, the last year they had this part right here from the pockets split. It started at the corner of this pocket and split, and I mended it, and I hate mending. So you know that I really like something if I mended it. All right, same thing happened with this pair here. Okay. You know, I loved these ones the most. They split all the way down to here. And the way that I fixed them is I put on the iron-on tape. Oh, this one I also had to iron on this on here and also in here for the pocket because my keys made a hole and then my keys were falling out of the pocket. So anyways, yes, I mended them, but I just couldn't mend this. Nope. It's not that they don't fit, it's that the fabric just wore out. It's kind of hard to show. Maybe it's easier to show on this pair. These ones split in the butt just recently and not as much, but you can see that the fabric was getting kind of worn, and that's what caused it to split. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab my fabric scissors, and since these are already broken, are already beyond repair, I'm gonna cut them up and turn them into the pattern. One is a size bigger than the other, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, let's see, what pieces do I need? So I used to have a book called Making like Patterns from Finished Clothes or something like that. So it's how to make a pattern from things that you already own and love and stuff like that. And I cannot find it anymore, but I read through it and there's lots of different ways that you can like not have to ruin your clothes in order to make a pattern from them. But since these ones are already ruined anyways, I might as well. However, there are some concepts that I'm going to use. Like one of the things you can do is you can place things out on the carpet with the paper underneath and then poke a pin through. So that way it shows you where the line is without you actually having to ruin it. So, okay, be brave, be brave. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna cut these ones. I'm going to cut out the crotch line right now. That's a little bit difficult because of these right here. I might need to seam rip those. Where's my seam ripper? Hold that. I need to go find my seam ripper. Okay, I'm back. I did not find my seam ripper, but I did find what I prefer over my seam ripper, which is my snips, because they're very, very pointy right here. So I don't want to cut through this right here. It seems kind of unnecessary. So I'm going to snip out so what I can do is I can get right in between and then I can snip. In some ways it has more control than a seam ripper, so that's nice. Ow! And then you can also do that. Oh, this is why seam rippers are better. Okay, so I found my seam ripper. And I can rip the seams open. Okay, so I've got these things down. I'm going to just cut right on down. So where I'm cutting, so that you can see, that one isn't so even. I'm cutting right here where the actual pieces of fabric come together. And it seems to be working great, so. Okay, now I've come to the part where the zipper is. I think what I'm gonna do, on this side right here, you can see the seam that includes the zipper. I'm gonna cut right through there, I think. Maybe I'll remove the zipper later, I don't know. I'm gonna start from the top. Okay, so now I've got two separate legs. I've got one with the zipper and the button right here. See, this is the part of the zipper that I didn't want to cut off. It's the top part of the zipper. And I don't necessarily want to cut off the side seams because I think I want to be able to, at least on this one, be able to maybe reuse this pocket. Not sure right now. But I do want to get the inseam. Okay, so the inseam, the inside of the leg, I'm gonna cut that open now. There we go. Okay, and I think I'm going to need, Can you see how there's a lot of shaping in here? Right there. And that's pretty easy. I can fold that right there. I do, however, need to cut this piece out right here. Because this is, there's a little dart right here. And I don't know if I'm going to bother to get that, but it wouldn't be too hard to get it. But this piece right here, that provides a lot of the shaping around the butt. So that way it'll come out a little bit like that. So I need to cut that piece out. Okay, this piece right here. I'm going to cut down to here so that way I can get the proper shaping that I need. Okay, I don't want to mess with this pocket right here because I want to reuse that bit. Yeah, so now I can use this, what I'll just do, this is a really weird pocket. It's like in the leg, but then it comes out. It's weird. This way I can get the curve in this and the curve along here, because you can see that there's a curve right there. And if these, if it works out really well, then all I have to do is then transfer it onto paper, and then it would be really good. So, okay. So one of the things I'm going to change about these is instead of having this pocket be on the outside, it's going to be on the inside, which means that instead of having this piece right here be a piece that I put on top, I'm going to have a piece without this, and that's going to be there, and then there'll be a pocket. I don't know how to, so I don't know how to explain it until I'm actually doing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right here. Okay. So when I'm cutting this out, I'm going to have a piece that's like this, a piece that's shaped like the pocket that goes on this side, and then I'm going to have a piece like this that then sews onto that part on the inside to make a pocket that is still like this, but will not be a patch pocket on the outside. Okay. You know what? After all that work, I realized I have two sides of pants. I'm just gonna cut this. Oh, mending. Oh. Okay. You might be asking, why'd she do that? So I can use this as a pattern. I have this as a pattern. I've got this as a pattern. When I need to, I'll just put this up to here, and I'll be able to get that done. This piece of fabric is not one of the pieces of fabric I bought in the last year, but it was one of the pieces of fabric that was being hoarded in, well, or saved, or whatever you want to call it. Hoarding has such a bad connotation. I tried to fit everything onto the fabric directly, but they ended up not fitting, so I'm going to, in a second, move to putting on paper. Okay, so because it doesn't fit on the fabric, I'm going to just do it out of paper. Why not? Why not? And then I can control how long the hem is, because I can make it, if I have paper pieces, then I can move them around and stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try and get this piece right. Because the crotch comes out wider than my paper can allow for, I just taped a piece on. So I'm just gonna pin to, there we go, the paper. This isn't working as well as I thought it would. The paper is ripping as I try to pin things. If I don't have the weights on, I can pin through the paper. Oh, crap. Okay. I've got the pattern weights on here. I forgot that what I tend to do is actually draw, just trace it, and then I'm going to use my rulers, my curved styling rulers, to get it more correct. So that's pretty good. There we go. I'm just gonna trace. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I've got my rulers. I've got my Bruce. Got my rulers. There's a combination ruler. I got these rulers from a specialty thing a while ago. I don't know if you've ever been to one of those presentations where it's like you just take 2 measurements and then you use this little teeny tiny pattern, and then you're able to make all these different patterns and stuff like that. I bought the ruler. So this is for like upper body, and this one is supposed to be for the lower body. Now there's something that's kind of a combination of the two of them together. It kind of starts off like this one, but then kind of goes off to that. And it kind of still works, you know, because you can still see how the curves kind of go together. Or maybe it's more, yeah, it's more like that, I guess. But anyways, and I can buy those at like Joann or something. This is my meter stick. It's not just a yardstick, it actually is a full meter. I bought this at Hobby Lobby. So anyways, this one's really great for getting straight lines, which I don't know how many of those that I have. But anyways, this is really good for getting hips. So I can oh, this is saying maybe it needs to go more out. I don't know. I can get a pretty good, that looks just about right. So I'm just going to take that and I'm going to go with it. When I trace things, I have a very bumpy line. By using these rulers, I have a very solid curved line. So now that I've got that stuff done, oh, you couldn't even see the bottom. Here, look at the bottom. See how it like came up a little bit and then I just straightened it out. Anyways, what I can do, what I love about these rulers right here is I can add the seam allowance really easily. Because these are 1/8 inch squares. I'm just gonna add 5/8 because that's what I'm used to. Okay, I don't know if you could see that, but I added an inch hem and then added 5/8 for the turning down, I guess. I don't know. Before I cut this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold on this line. I'm going to fold on this line right here. And then cut the rest of this. So I'll cut this, I'll fold this up, and then I'll cut along here so that way it comes out at the bottom. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so I've got another piece of paper out. I've got the first one underneath it because I want to make sure that my side seams are the same. So, let's see. I'm going to trace that side seam line. Okie dokie. Alright. Now, I'm going to put this up there. Now, before I do anything else, I've got a dart. And my dart is right in here. It's about that width. Now, the one thing that I need to take care of is that pocket bit. So if I'm going to put a pocket in, then I need this section out. Okay, I'm just gonna trace this on here, just for good measure. First thing I gotta do is make sure I've got this dart about right. It doesn't show well because of my camera angle, but I am straightening out the dart lines and tracing them. Even though these are going to be different shapes, we want them to match. They match in length. Okay, so now I've got this shape. What I've got to do is take my curvy rulers, put them aside, and I need to trace my seam allowance again. I almost forgot something important. I need to add the fly. So I'm going to measure out 2 inches. Yeah. And then this just kind of actually, that's pretty good. Okay. And work on my seam allowances. So it's a separate seam allowance. I just need more desk space. I really do. It's what I need. There we go. Seam allowance. Okay, so what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've traced the stuff so that I can make my pocket pieces. I want my pockets to be just a touch bigger. So, wait a second. I don't think I have enough seam allowance. Oh, they will be bigger though because of this. That was part of the problem, is that my phone would have to rest in here. So, I'm going to have it come out approximately straight out from here. Okay, so everything got full, so I lost some footage there. Okay, anyways, I folded this in half and I pinned it down so that way as I cut out, I'll make 2 copies. I also made this yoke pattern already, you know. So that means that I would now have 2 of these pocket patterns right here. And I'm just going to quickly trace the part that I'm cutting off. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. I've cut down to there. I've cut where the hemline will be. Maybe it's too long. I don't know. I don't care right now. And I'm going to cut there. And there. And it creates, it comes out where it needs to come out. So that way when I'm hemming and I fold on the hemline, then it hems nicely. Yep. Let's measure how much fabric I actually have, because that might be part of my problem. So let's see. This is 1 all the way to 36. A yard and 14 inches. Okay, let's figure out how many meters. For those of you who don't live in the United States. A yard, a meter, 0.27, 27 centimeters. So, a meter and 27 centimeters. So, that might be one of the reasons why I couldn't fit everything on here. But I'm just going to shorten the hem a little bit if I need to be able to get this to fit. Okay. Oh wait, before we start laying everything out, something important that I did. I tore off these strips. How wide did I make them? It has the selvage. Oh, they're a little bit over 2 inches. I guess they're 2.5 inches for my waistband. How long are they? Wait a minute. Maybe one would have been long enough. Wow. Because I need 23 plus times 2 plus like another 2 inches. So, yeah, I'd have plenty. That would be 36. Actually, let's make math easy. 30. No, something's wrong. Wait, 36 plus 14 is 50. So I actually had enough. But anyways, I've got these strips so that way I can do the waistband with them. And I'm going to go ahead and lay things out. Okay, so what I ended up doing is I opened it up and I folded it the other way. So this was the fold. That way I knew that I could fit everything on. That means technically I'm doing everything on the crosswise grain, but I don't care right now. And I haven't placed the pockets or the yoke yet, but I'm not really worried about it because I know that once I cut out this section right here, I can unfold that. But we'll see. I know that because I placed the pocket on. See? And if I know I can get one out of this when it's opened up, and then another one, and then another one, and I know I can get another one, I know I can get that in. And then the back yoke, I should be able to fit down by where the bottom of the back pattern is. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out. Where did I put my scissors? Oh, right here. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. I ended up having to shorten it 3 inches in order for it to get to fit. So let's see how this goes. Normally in patterns that are made by the big pattern companies will tell you to make sure that you lay everything out before you start cutting. I did know that I had enough space for these pocket pieces once I had cut out a certain part because of the fold. That's why I did it that way. Okay, so first of all, about the closest color of thread that I've got is this green. I mean, it doesn't look too bad up against this. This is the one that I've got that matches the best. So I'm going to use that. And then mostly everything that I need, I don't really need a lot of marks. The only thing I really need, well, maybe I'll do a snip right here to say this is where the thing starts. There we go. Mark one there. Mark one there. And then if I want to, oh, I need to unpin you too. Then if I want to, I can go in, grab my straight edge, and I can just mark everything. Where did I put that seam ripper again? Dang it. Seam rippers are really good for popping in this part right here, so that way it doesn't make your machine all weird. I can just use my marking pencil. There we go. So that way it doesn't get all gummy and stuff on here. It's already there, so I'm just going to sew it on the line. All right. I'm gonna press this at some point, but I need to sew these together first. So if this is my right side and this is my right side, then I want this one on here. All right, what I've got to do now here, this is an inside curve, so I need to do snips along here. So I just look at how straight of a line I've got, and I just put snips, not all the way to the thread, but close. See how like I have it's straight from here to here and then from here to about here. And then it's straight up here, so I'm not going to bother. It looks like it's pressed towards the zipper. Okay, so I gotta go ahead and do the ironing of these. So I'll be back. All right, look at how good that looks now. Yeah. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to top stitch this. Now, technically I could also do understitching to make it look even nicer, but right now I don't care. All right, next thing to do is to attach the other side of the pocket. So we've got this pocket here. This is the back. This is the wrong side, right? So this is the side little face that'll be seen. And this is the side that is going to be the inside of the pocket. I'm going to take my other pocket piece and put that, sew it on the two sides. Now I'm going to serge, and I have white serger thread in right now and I don't care. Okay, now that I've got this serged, which looks kind of funny and I also don't know how much I care, I'm going to make it so that I can baste these down. I'm going to pull all the way this way so that this piece is all the way over, and then hold down, have that piece all the way over there. I'm going to pin this. I'm going to pin this. down. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to make sure that everything is all lined up. And that was my mark right here, telling me approximately where I was going to be. There we go. Yeah. And since I decided to do a smaller seam allowance, it's a little lower, which is fine. Okay. And I'm just going to baste along this and this, maybe just because I don't want to have to cut as many threads. I might just baste the whole thing. Where's my other one? Oh, there it is. So now, it's a lot easier for me to see how the pocket is. Nice. Okay, so it looks very good. The next thing to do is, so I have everything done with the front. Now I'm gonna go ahead and work on the back. First thing I need to do is sew on the yoke piece. Okay, so that's the way that goes. So these go together like this. You know what I should have checked? I should have checked to make sure that these are the same length. They ended up being pretty close, but I should have double checked that. Okay, so I want to have this piece go to this piece. Whoa, they're actually way off. So what I'm gonna do, actually, I'm not gonna pin this on yet. What I'm gonna do, I still have the basting stitch on. I am going to baste these. This goes here. So I pull my strings out, and then I'm gonna pin this down. And I'm gonna use my thing that said this is the right side. And I'm going to pin this over here. I really should have made this pattern piece better. Oh well. Okay, and then I pick one string to be the one I pull. I'm easing the bigger piece to be the same size as the smaller piece, so that way when I sew it, there won't be any tucks or folds. Alright, top stitching. That looks good. That looks good. Okay. I think I need to do the fly next. Ugh. Okay, so I've only put in a zipper with a fly front once. Look, I've got a pretty good matching zipper, because I had all these zippers for making little coin purses to sell and stuff. So that looks really good. But what I can do is I can sew the inseams first. If I do the outseam last, then I can still do this fly front. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew the inseams together. So this is one of the fronts and one of the backs are sewn together for the inseam. Now I'm gonna serge them. The zipper that I have is a 1/2 inch shorter than the zipper on the original pants. So I am going to move this up 1/2 inch. Okay. Ish. Okay. And then this is supposed to be in 5/8 of an inch from here. How much is 5/8 of an inch from there to there? Okay. Then I'm gonna snip in 5/8 of an inch. I'm only going to sew up into this point right here, but I'm going to use a triple stitch on my sewing machine. So I'm going to have my triple stitch start right there. This is not a 5/8 of an inch in, but I'm going to pretend, and then I can snip more. I can't unsnip what I've already snipped. You know what I mean? So I like to have my seams go opposite directions so that it lays nice and flat. So right now I'm putting the front to the front and the back to the back, because that is where they connect, is on the seam, the crotch seam. Come on. And then I'm going to do a triple stitch. Line those up nice. See, that came out really good. This yoke here, even though this was flat, this kind of creates a dart right there. It creates a dart right there to help control, to make it so that it comes in right at your waist, so that when you're sitting, you don't get a gap in the back. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sew that with my triple stitch. Triple stitch! Come on. The triple stitch goes forward 2 stitches, back 1 stitch, forward 2 stitches, back 1 stitch. So it's going over every section 3 times. Okay, triple stitch. If you do not have a triple stitch on your machine, then all you need to do is sew over the part where like your butt starts. You want this section here, the curved section, to be where you have 3 at least double stitches, if not 3. What I used to do is I used to sew one direction, turn around, sew, turn around, sew, and then finish up my seam. I'm gonna go ahead and serge this. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is chop stitch this, which is not in my instructions, and if I have to unpick it, I have to unpick it, but I know that I need to have this crease here, and it's just going to be easier for me if I just top stitch it right now. Okay, so I have that crease. That looks really good. What's next? I have to consult my book. Okay, I think I screwed up. I forgot that I need to make this wider, so I'm gonna have to use a piece of scrap fabric, which I still have. So I've trimmed, where am I? I'm gonna sew this down here. So I've got this thing top stitched. I trimmed off everything, so I only have the 5/8 seam allowance, and I'm gonna sew this on here. Let's see. I need to get the other foot on. Now, however, when I use the zipper foot, I need to make sure that I move my needle, and I need to look at my zipper. Where's my zipper? There it is. Okay, my zipper. I don't like how low that is, but there'll be some coming off of there. I don't know. I'm gonna just move it up a little bit. Okay, and now I want to sew close to the zipper, so I'm going to move my needle over this way. And there's a line on the zipper. I want to try to follow that line where my pin is in. It's hard to see with the light on it, but there's a line right there where the zipper is and where my pin is in the zipper. That's the line I want to follow. So my zipper face down. Oh yeah, that's pretty much where I have it on the other side of the ski. I had to unzip it down so that I can keep going. Now what I want to do, I'm almost at the top. I want to pull my zipper this way so that all of the zipper is in the seam allowance. Okay, and then I need to get a strip of something that long. I'm gonna sandwich my zipper in between here. I think that's what I do. So that I can, yeah, so that this then creates the part that's the guard. Yeah. Zip it up. Yeah, that looks okay. That looks really horrible right there. I'm gonna fix that. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that. I do not know why that is so bad. But I'm going to fix it with the normal foot so that I can see. If you're wondering why I can fix it with the normal foot, is because now that I've got more fabric in here, I'm not worried about, I know exactly where to sew, and it will actually go over it fairly well. That looks much better. Okay. So then I can serge it. And then what I do after I serge it is, this is going to be, I'm going to use this as a guide to figure out where I want this to be. Right here. And then sew the other side of the zipper on. Well, let me serge it first. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to top stitch. So I've serged it. Now I'm going to top stitch it. Now that that is top stitched, I can now, I'm going to pin this back. I'm going to pin this back so that way it doesn't get in my way. It will go back this direction when I finish up, but for now, in order for me to get everything lined up, I need that back. So anyways, what my book says now is just to line everything up the way I want it to overlap. So starting at the bottom, wow, why is this so finicky? There we go. I want my top stitches to cover each other, like my top stitching lines to line up. See how my top stitching line lines up? So I'm going to pin this in place right here. By the way, I made up that I want my top stitching lines to line up. It just looks nice. Okay. Then I need to go to the back side. So what that does is it lines up how this part of the zipper needs to go on. So I'm going to, I think, pin that down. Yes, that is what I do next. Ha ha! Ha ha! So I pin it down. I need to make my zipper go down so I can pin this accurately. So pin it here. That looks pretty good. And now I can take out all of the pins along the front. Because I only want to sew through this layer right here. So here we go. Now I need to zip my zipper up. see. Did that work? With it all zipped up. Yep, it's in the spot I want it, so that's good. That's good. What? 1 centimeter above the curve. Okay. Do not know what that means. But I do know that I can change over to my regular foot now. Zippers are constantly, when you're sewing them, you have to constantly move up and down. One centimeter before the curve. I'm just gonna sew it to where the zipper ends, maybe? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, I might have that too far out. Oh well. I don't really care. And then I unpinned this. And I want these to match up. So, how much do I need to remove? It doesn't matter, does it? I think I need to remove an inch. I think. Let's just cut it from up here. Yay. And then I'm going to serge that. I lost the footage of finishing the zipper, sewing the outseam, and sewing the waistline. Okay, so I needed a button for the waistline. So the only thing I've got to do left is put in my buttonhole, and do the hem. And then I'll be done, but I don't have time to work on this today because we have Dungeons and Dragons. So it's gonna have to wait until either tomorrow or the next day or something. So far the pants seem like they are an okay fit, but there's like some things that are just a little bit off. The sewing is great. The fit I need to work on. I really need a fitting partner. Anyways, yeah. So I worked really late on that last night. Alright, anyways, to that stuff. So I ran out of space to be able to record, and I've been working on getting that fixed for the last 3 weeks. External hard drives, all that jazz. But I still just finished the pants. Now it's very important that whenever you're going to do a buttonhole, that you do a practice buttonhole first. So you just use some scrap fabric. I normally only keep scraps that are the size of my hand or bigger, if I'm going to be even using them for, scraps of things or something like that. But it's always good to have a little bit of a scrap piece when you're going to be doing a buttonhole. So I ended up finishing the waistband and did the buttonhole and the hemming, and I've been wearing these pants and they've been pretty good. So, yeah, you can see how they look. So this is how they turned out. Even with the pockets full, I always have to have my keys, phone, and wallet. So the pockets came out really nice. Even when they're full, they don't look, well, they do punch out a little bit. And I don't know, there's a little bit more bunchiness here than I thought I had. I forgot that these ones are a size bigger than I am now because I haven't worn them in a year and I lost some weight. So, but overall, pretty happy with them. So, yeah, I've been wearing them a lot. Hope you enjoyed my first Stashbusters. And I'm thinking I'm going to do this video as a short video and then as a long video with all of the sewing steps in between. So anyways, good luck with all of your projects.
Well, hello, Eliza.
You smell the kitties? You smell the kitties.